Join us at the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, March 23rd through 26th. We'll be at booths 1113 and 1114, decked out in cosplay, selling the latest Angel of Death merch. Tickets are available via the link in the description. Hope to see you there.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Composition of Imagination. I am your host and author, Stevie Joe. These are my fabulous book guardians, Tasha and Jason. We have been talking so far all month long about the celebration of Angel of Death because this is the publication anniversary of it. And this week in particular, we are talking about character development. So we're just going to jump back in.
Okay, Regal is kind of bounces in and out.
He does.
And we know he's part of the Jericho family. Mm-hmm. And he seems to be one of the good ones. Mm-hmm. And he comes in and out. He is a doctor. Mm-hmm. That's about, I mean, in a way, that's kind of all we know. We know he is a creature.
Yeah.
And he knows how to control it. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool, by the way. But juxtaposition that with Chloe Joe, who's a human and has only one goal in life.
Yeah.
And you're both in the medical field, and yet neither, like, Regal's character, I want to say, we don't know enough if his character's gotten better, worse, but we know Chloe Joe is stuck in Arrested Development. Mm-hmm. Her whole universe is, well, obviously, she wants to save her father, but Ezra, and she's done nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the girl shouldn't even be breathing right now with some of the atrocities that have happened.
Yeah.
Was it your intention to make her character pretty despicable, you know, from the get-go, or, you know, you've got some sort of redeeming quality? Because in a way, her trying to save her father, that's like her obsession. Yeah. So that's supposed to be the redeeming quality. But it still doesn't justify all the crap she's done to this point.
She was not originally intended to be much of anything. And that's why she's framed the way she is. But then I started building this obsession with how her father is the only, like, surviving zombie, because let's face it, if a zombie is known, they're taken out. Yeah. Like, even if they haven't, like, turned into one, no one wants to take that risk because they are the most dangerous creatures in the Earth realm because of their ferality and everything. So but she has just kind of been like this almost background character to help give Cordelia another reason to, like, maybe hurt Peyton a little, to show more of that, like, I love her, I hate her, I love her, I hate kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But then her obsession with her dad started developing on accident, and now it's actually become a very major factor for how things are going to go down in the next 4 books, 5 books. The reason why she's, like, I don't mean to make her as, like, not as loving as she is and, like, make you hate her or anything. She's just, again, she's a vehicle.
I get it. I would understand. Like, yeah. And I mean, if I had a parent that I you know, had been taken care of and stuff, I'd sit there and try to do what I could.
He's also trying to redeem Jared because everybody's like, they're scared, but they've accepted it. But Jared killed her mother shortly after she was born. And so she's trying to redeem him, not realizing there's not really anything to redeem because Noel already did that for her. But as his daughter, she sees it as her responsibility. She's like,
restore the family name.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another part of the character, and that was the development I don't think maybe you didn't see coming, is her willingness to sit there because she wants to impress Cordelia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, she'll kill any creature or any person.
Yep.
To get what she needs, and now she's got even more of a fight on her hands.
And part of that, it was kind of a surprise development for me when I was writing her. But part of that also comes from her long-term knowledge of how the Jericho family works, because she was friends with Peyton forever until this whole thing with Ezra happened, and now they just kind of don't talk anymore, really.
But she also works 110 hours.
Oh God, yeah, because she respects Cordelia. Of everybody in the Jericho family,
Let's be honest,
Cordelia.
Cordelia is not putting in that many hours. She can say she is. She ain't putting even a quarter of that much time in before she's expecting everybody else to.
Part of that could also be that Chloe Jo looks at Cordelia as the mother she never had, because of how she's been in that life for so long.
I get that,
Chloe Jo wants to be a Jericho so bad, and that she wants to impress Cordelia so bad so she does have that mother figure that she never had. And I don't think she really knows what all the shit's
No, was Chloe born?
Yeah, she thinks she does.
Was Chloe Jo born before the incident or after the incident?
Oh, before, because the incident only happened 4 years ago.
See, that's the thing. That's what's so crazy about the story, is the incident happened 4 years earlier, but everybody acts like it happened when Skylar was really young.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you're mentioning that little backstory on that, and I never really changed much. It originally was. But because of the memory issue, it feels like it happened.
Because the way the townspeople and all the other characters talk about the incident, it makes it. That's why in my head, as much as I try to wrap around 4 years, it seems more like 10 to 12. And like everybody, your life began or ended. You looked at it from the incident.
But no, it almost is like, remember how we were talking a few videos ago, like last week I think, about LexCon, and how, oh my God, we can't believe that it was a year ago. That's kind of the feel, where sometimes so much has happened between then.
Yeah, it feels like it's been like a lifetime ago from the first time we went.
And so this whole between Skylar, once the incident happened, between Skylar moving and getting engaged to Ezra, then having that destructive breakup and all that, everybody just kind of feels like, whoa.
And that's the other thing. What we were talking about earlier, this is not necessarily a character point, but this incident ends up being a problem for everybody because, like I said, Noel doesn't remember anything before the incident. If that was 4 years ago, what the hell? Skylar should be there before the incident, not after. And it seems like that's everybody's, go-to MO for what's going on. Is that Skylar was here at the incident. I have no comment.
And there's almost like this, how do you explain somebody that seems
even
to
Chloe
appear out of nowhere?
Yeah, and Chloe Jo, at first she was a little snarky in the first book with her. As the story progressed, you got to see her progression go in the opposite direction. And again, we talk about the peaks and valleys of the characters. Yeah, she kind of peaks a little bit when she's trying to sit there and take care of her dad. But when she basically swears her whole allegiance to Cordelia for the cure, knowing they have, a month?
A week and a half.
Wait, it was a week and a half? I thought
At
it
the
was
end
a
of
month.
whenever she says it in book 4, it's a week
Yeah.
and a half.
Damn.
Yeah.
The other half of it is, okay, we've talked about how Chloe Joe's development's been. Now you've got Regal.
Mm-hmm.
He's a respected member of the Jericho family.
Well, by others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why isn't anybody coming to his defense?
That's a very good question. And part of it is because, much like Skylar, Regal wants to be in the background. He wants to be left alone. He wants to just have his wife, his daughter, his job, the end. He is helping creatures in his own way, and he does not believe that the conquistadors will succeed.
Yeah.
And
as do most people.
yeah. And so he actually, the difference between him and Skylar is he has succeeded in staying in the background because he doesn't make waves. He doesn't come to these town hall meetings. He doesn't come to, he does game, well, he used to do game night, but whatever. He also, little clue for future books, he knows something about James that James doesn't even know. And that keeps him in the background because he's like, well, if I reveal this, one of two things will happen. Either it will destroy the family because of what I know, because it definitely impacts James, or it will destroy me because James will destroy me for revealing.
I don't believe James has that. As much as he believes in it, he has that much power, he doesn't have that much power. Because if that was the case, he would have already exterminated all the creatures in Murr County. And that's what always cracks me up is that I will say that is a trope of, small town politics.
Oh, yeah.
Is that they always sit there and think they're so powerful.
More power than what they have in reality.
And let's be real. If the creatures really all stood up, there wouldn't be anything left of the human populace there. And that's why I think it's hilarious when you have Cordelia and you have James standing up there. We're gonna protect you, and all the creature populations going, look, I have no problem with the humans, I have a problem with you.
Yeah.
And, the fact that they're sitting idly by instead of reacting like they should makes me wonder if they're not under some form of influence themselves and not realize it.
It's more of just a complacency.
It could
for
be.
all the creatures. And for Regal in particular, he weighed it as, I can either have something volatile happen by revealing what I know about my dad, or I can just keep it to myself and stay in the background.
Probably knows about
and
Harper.
Leave everything alone. And he chose to just leave everything alone because to him, and I'm saying something really important here, to Regal, being a real father to Ava is more important to him than revealing what he may know about James. So that's kind of, and Skylar, on the other hand, try as she might to stay in the background, she can't succeed because she has always been the incident, even though it seems like it's a million years away, the incident is still too fresh for some.
Yeah.
And so she stays in the forefront, and that prevents everybody from focusing too much on Regal. Although
Regal does his best. He does accept Sky.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
He sees a kindred spirit in her because she was exiled as well. But, in The Good Shepherd, Regal gets taken in by the HPA. And he knew it was coming.
You mean by Wesley?
By shithead Wesley and Derek, who tried his best to make it an amicable situation. The 3 Jericho children have a very interesting dynamic that, it's kind of crappy because it doesn't get explored as much as I would like to, but they're not the main focus of the series, so I can't do much. But they do have a very interesting dynamic. Their history, you learn a lot about it in book 6 actually, where they just, Noel and Kaylee talk about growing up with a dad like James, because he was never loyal. We've kind of shifted to talking about James's character.
Well, I mean, and that's a good development because they're all intertwined.
Yeah. They talk about what it was like to grow up with James and how he was this just adulterous, just how much he seemed to always hate their mother. And it's like, dude, I get it. You want to have an open relationship and do what you want to do, fine. But fuck, don't treat mom like this. Don't treat her like she's yesterday's trash and just bring in a girl and not care about her. You know what I mean? That's kind of, and Kaylee talks a lot about what it was like to travel to Italy and, have her mother's support. And she always wanted to, one of the really fun things is when Kaylee went to Italy for modeling, she would buy really nice things with the money she earned and send it back for Sylvia, for her mother, because she wanted her mother to have nice things. Because James, even though he provides her with this luxurious life because of being the mayor, he still doesn't provide her with
damn mayor.
Good stuff.
I mean, that's one of the things I love about the books, is that you've made the town mayor, because it's a little town. That you've made him basically the governor.
Pretty much.
I mean, he's got all this wealth and status and stuff, and it's like, dude, you're just a mayor.
That's like a lot of families, in any town, particularly like here, and I think there were some families like that in St. Cloud, weren't there, where they thought, they were so well known and had so much money that they thought they were God of the town, like they could influence anybody, and it just so happens that not only is he that kind of person, but he's also the mayor. It just so happens those two evils came together and collided. So, but yeah, that's I'm surprised we haven't talked about Harper at all.
Actually, she was going to be the next one.
Well, let's talk about that in the next video. We'll save that because now we've kind of circled around to it. And we'll just
we've gone through the family, and worked our way over, to the one that actually is probably the biggest problem in the entire town.
That's interesting. So we'll explore that in tomorrow's video. So thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed the discussion about character development so far. Tomorrow we're going to wrap it up and start the conversation with Harper. So be sure you subscribe so you don't miss whenever the video is uploaded, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Catch up on the Angel of Death series today. The first 4 entries are now available directly at steviejoeauthor.com.